Hello again. Welcome to another episode of Leading from Alignment with our good friend and coach, John Opalewski, who is here today to share with us episode 340. How are you today, John?
I'm well. I'm well. 340. That's a big number, Jim.
That's a big number. Whew.
Man,
Well, I'm
340.
not looking at a scale right now. That'd be hard to look at.
So the title today is, you know, one of the lies I think that leaders believe, the leadership lie is, uh, I don't have time for friendships. And so the title
Yeah,
of the podcast today is the leadership lie, why you can't afford to skip friendship.
yeah,
And Jim, I just want to start with a question. Have you ever told yourself, I just don't have time for friendship?
yes, yeah. Or convince myself that my colleagues are my friends, my staff, my
Mm,
secretary, my
that's
dog,
interesting.
I'm happily married. I have children. I don't need friends. That kind of stuff where I'm not starving, but I'm not satisfied either. So I'm okay when it comes to
Yeah.
friendship. Yeah.
I think sometimes that phrase, I don't have time for friendship, I mean, in a weird way, it can sound responsible
Yeah.
or productive or even necessary. But, what if that thought is patently false?
Hmm.
And what if it's costing you as a leader more than you realize? This lie, and that's actually what I think it is. I
Yeah.
think it's a lie that I don't have time for friendships. We always make time for what we value.
Yeah.
Really, we
Yeah.
can tell what we value by the time attached to it. And friendships, if friendships keep getting pushed to the back burner, I don't know that it's just a time issue. Sometimes I think it's a values uh,
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think behind that is even maybe some belief that we have about ourselves. Like maybe I feel like I'm not lovable, relationships are risky, production matters more than friendship. And I think our skewed thinking and believing inevitably leads us to the following behavior, and that's neglecting friendship
Yeah.
and often substituting it with work. I think we've quoted
Hmm.
this study from Barna, Jim, many times,
Yeah.
that in 2017 they surveyed 14,000 evangelical lead pastors in the United States. And this is an interesting report. One of the things that I found most alarming was that 66% of lead pastors reported having no deep friendships.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm of the mind that this statistic hasn't improved much in 9 years.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Uh, and Jim, it's not just an alarming statistic. To me, it's an unacceptable
Yeah.
statistic. I mean, I hear it, you hear it, our team hears it in conversations with pastors everywhere, in every size church, in every denomination. Leadership often becomes incredibly lonely. And where does a leader go, Jim, when they're discouraged? Like, who do they call when they're tempted? Where do they
Yeah.
go?
Right.
Most of them will not reach out to colleagues because I've discovered this pretty early in ministry that leadership cultures can be competitive.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of pastors won't open up to their teams or boards out of fear it could be used against them, and
Yeah.
there's some wisdom that needs to go along with that. So I think the conclusion that some leaders, and of course, according to Barna, 66% of leaders come to, is they tell themselves, I've got to carry this thing alone. I want to stop
Yeah.
and just love to hear your thoughts on this.
Um, I think it's almost hard to define what a friend is.
Mm.
Um, this is, and I think it was Josh Spurlock maybe said it at one point, but someone with whom you can spend time that you owe nothing to and is not impressed with you. Was that something along those lines?
Sounds like something Josh would say.
Yeah, and just a fishing buddy, a walking buddy,
Mm.
a garage sale buddy, whatever it is, but just somebody that you enjoy that is not, maybe they don't work for you. Maybe they don't even attend your church. Maybe they do, but it's just a friendship. I think it's hard because I think to define, how many friends do you have on Facebook? Well, almost none of them are your friends. They're there are people that like a post or don't like a post or whatever that you knew them from high
Right.
school. So actually doing life, my definition of friendship is somebody with whom I do life with. They know me, I know them. I can call in the middle of the night. I can call and have a flat tire. I can call when I'm having a good day. I can call when I have extra meat and I want to cook it and come on over and bring the kids. Like that's a friend. It's doing. I enjoy. On peanut butter, your jelly. We make a great sandwich. We don't need each other, but it's a great sandwich. Let's
Yeah,
do that. So, does that make sense as far as a definition of friendship? And
I
that
think
word
so.
close friendship. That means somebody I can trust. I don't just enjoy them, but how you doing? And I can say, honestly, can I be honest? I'm not doing
Yeah,
very well right now. That would be a closer friendship than just a
agree.
friendship, you know? So
I
yeah,
think there's
I
levels,
go ahead.
right? I think there's levels of
Yeah,
friendship. I think all of us need somebody in our life who um, they're just fun to hang out with.
yeah,
He may
yeah,
never talk about anything deep,
yeah.
but the joy and laughter they bring into your life is therapeutic, and
It is.
it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
And then you've got some friends in your life that um, know everything about you.
yeah,
You might have one. You're lucky if you have one or two of those who
yeah,
know everything about you. There's no secrets, nothing's hidden,
yeah.
and they're still committed to you. They still love you.
Right,
They're
right.
still for. They're
And
still
probably
for you.
reciprocated, right? Their
100%.
issues as well, and that now we're really growing. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
The core issue here is one that all of us, our listeners and watchers, are familiar with, that we were never created by God to do life alone.
right. It's not good.
God even says that in Genesis 2:18. It's
Yeah,
not good for man, the man, Adam, to
yeah,
be alone.
yeah,
And that statement was not made after the fall. It was spoken in the middle of perfection.
yeah, yeah,
And so even in a perfect world, without sin, without stress, without dysfunction, God said this isn't complete without relationship,
hmm
which means this. And Pastor, please hear this. No amount of success will replace your need for friendship.
It actually amplifies loneliness.
100% right.
Yeah,
And and so much of our culture is chasing
yeah,
success, chasing,
yeah,
and they get it and they feel empty. Why?
mm,
Why is that?
yeah,
It's because that's the way God designed us
right.
to not be fulfilled
Yes,
by what our culture would term success.
yeah,
And so,
yeah,
we need the vertical relationship with God to be whole, but boy, do we need the replenishing horizontal relationships
yeah,
with people. So I'd like to talk about why a couple of things, why friendship matters more than you think. First
yeah,
of all, ministry is serious business.
yeah,
Now, it's fun, and there's a lot of cool things about ministry that just make it amazing, but it's serious
yeah,
business, and consequently, pastors need people that, like I said earlier, they can laugh with,
yeah.
they can vent to, they can be
That's a good
vulnerable
one.
with.
That's a good one. Yeah,
And I think life in ministry is just better when it's shared with good friends.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, and I'm going to say a couple of other things. I want to hear your thoughts on it here, Jim. A friendship directly impacts your emotional and mental health.
Yes.
Direct impact. So when somebody comes and asks us for help, they're depressed or anxious. We probe several areas, but we always probe this one. Because when you're depressed and anxious, um, you're you're going to probably end up needing a counselor,
Sure.
but you need a good friend. Your counselor is not your friend.
Right. Yeah.
He's not going to be there. She's not going to be there to put their arm around you.
Yeah.
You need a good friend. So the ministry is serious, and we have to find friendships that allow us to
Yes.
detach from that seriousness. It impacts our mental and emotional health. And actually, I think that I grow and I develop as a person by the people that I put around me.
Yes. Yeah.
Jim, I am not going to reach full emotional maturity without deep, life-giving friendships.
Yes.
Um, Calling, gifting, anointing don't replace what friendship can give to you. So I want to stop. I talked a long
Yeah.
stretch there. I want to hear
Yeah.
what's on your mind.
We had a guy at our church, a normal guy, a fun guy, Army veteran, worked as a cameraman for a local TV station, knew everything about everything, but just a really simple, great guy. And we all hung out together. We all hung out at his house. There was always the deer hunting trip. There's always the fishing week in Canada. There was always, and he passed away. And we didn't know that we weren't really all friends. We were all Joe's friend. And
Hmm,
when Joe passed away, suddenly we didn't have any friends. No, we didn't do anything with anybody. We
interesting.
didn't, it was actually hard to kind of get together because Joe wasn't there with us. And that was the season where I learned what you're talking about now is, man, friends are, fishing is fun. Fishing with a friend is next level. You know, going to see a
Yes.
movie by yourself, going to dinner by yourself, taking a walk by yourself. Maybe some people need that time. I really value the going to see the army movie that my wife does not want to see with my army buddy, who wants to see the army movie. Like that's it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a bonding moment. And my wife gets to go do her stuff with her friends during that same time. It's just I think it's not the icing on the cake. It's the eggs and the flour in the cake.
Hmm.
It is the cake. And man, to live this life and to succeed with all the things you can count, but not be able to count a handful of friends that you claimed victory with. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's just an empty victory. It's a lot more fun
And I,
together.
and I think it's possible if you're listening and watching today, you might be reacting to this way that it's just one more thing I've got to do.
Mm,
It's it's
yeah,
so hard to do this. I wanna simplify it for you today if I can. I think there's just a simple but a powerful shift
yeah,
that would be super helpful to you. And it's simply this. Schedule your friendships like you schedule your work.
yeah. That's good.
Put friendship on your calendar.
Yeah,
I was at the several weeks ago at the annual state meeting for our tribe,
yeah,
and I was having a nice conversation with somebody I haven't talked to in a while. And he said, we should get together for breakfast. And I hear that a lot and sometimes say, yeah, that's a great idea. And then I get back to work and I forgot about that conversation. So I
sure.
said, let's grab our phones
Right now.
and let's schedule it right now.
Yeah,
And we're going to have breakfast here, I think, in a couple of weeks.
yeah,
And I'm excited about that.
yeah,
And that is on my work calendar.
yeah,
My assistant will not schedule a meeting.
yeah,
I will not schedule a meeting because if I don't schedule it now, it won't happen.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I see people at church and we haven't talked really for a long time. Yeah, we need to get there. Yeah, we need to get together. And they've
yeah,
got a life and we've got a life. And so it's this is super practical, but schedule that and treat it with the same degree of care and respect and boundary that you would
yeah,
a work thing, a meeting with a client. Um,
yeah,
I, Friendship, I don't think friendship, sometimes friendships happen accidentally, they start accidentally,
yeah.
but they never grow accidentally.
Right.
It's
Time.
always by intention. What do you think about this whole idea of just this one simple shift, Jim?
Yeah. Well, I think if you apply it to other areas we consider important, like do you schedule your workouts or do you just kind of spontaneously do it when you feel like it? I could
Mm,
probably look at you physically and know the answer to that question. The problem is this, you can't see this physically. This is something we
that's right.
see emotionally. But if you value your physical health to the place where you schedule times to eat on your schedule, times to exercise on your schedule, times to rest on your schedule, don't forget other parts of you need maintenance as well.
That's
You
right.
you do need friends. I mean, I've heard some people say, I just don't need friends. Like, I think you're playing defense because somebody hurt you a long time ago. Everybody needs
Yeah.
friends. Again, it's not good to be alone. If one falls down, two are better because one falls down, the other one can pick him back up again. A cord of three strands
Right.
is hard to break. Where two of them are gathered together, my name. I mean, on and on and on. I can name scriptures you could all day long about why we should
Yeah.
be doing this life with other people that we consider our close friends. And
Yeah.
I say, well, I don't have time for that because I'm a pastor. Well, find another pastor that's asking the same questions you are. Ask them together. Get together every other week for coffee. And what's on your heart? What are you learning? What books are you reading? I mean, make it work,
It's good.
but it's friendship. It's the
Hmm.
basis of when I go fishing with my friends is we all fish. It's not that we're soulmates. It's that we like to kill stuff
Right.
and we want to kill stuff together and eat it. And it's fun. So it's yeah, finding those people to do life with is such a joy, such a treasure. It'd be a
Yeah.
shame to succeed alone.
So why you can't afford to skip friendship? Because God designed you for it. He
Yeah.
hardwired you for it.
Yeah. Hardwired.
What you do for a living has a layer of seriousness to it that requires you to pivot
Yeah.
into something
Yes.
that's less of that. Your emotional and, and mental health will be
Can I,
impacted
if I can point that out
significantly.
too, that
Yeah,
it is wrong unless very specific criteria are met, like protecting somebody's life, to imprison somebody in isolation. It's considered cruel and unusual punishment.
that's right.
You're a murderer, but you still need friends. You're a rapist, but you still need a community. And
Yeah.
and now we're talking about pastors, right? And leaders, people. I mean, for goodness sake, it is an unnecessary burden. It is a duress that is considered cruel and unusual by the Supreme Court of the United States for people to be left alone. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
torture. Why torture yourselves?
And you know how, I mean, let's just get really practical here.
Yeah,
Before the pandemic,
yeah,
the rate of depression in the United States was 1 in 10 for the general population.
yeah.
In the middle of the pandemic, toward the end of the pandemic, it was 4 out of 10, not 1 out of 10.
Wow.
And a lot of it had to do with we were isolated from each other.
Yes.
And so
Yeah, it
yes,
was.
it
Yeah,
matters because of your longevity. It matters because of health. It matters because of growth.
yeah,
And you don't have to do a forklift upgrade here. I was in IT for many years, and a
yeah,
forklift upgrade was you get a forklift and you just pull everything out that's in there and you got to
yeah,
start from scratch. No, make
yeah,
one shift.
yeah. I like it.
Schedule your friendships.
Yeah,
Because listen, here's why you can't afford. Here's the last reason why you can't afford it. Because at the end of your life, you're not going to be measured by the size of the church you lead, the
no,
success of your business, the scale of your accomplishments. You're going to be measured, at least in part, by your relationships,
yeah, that's good.
by the friendships you nurtured, the people
Yeah,
you invested in, the love that you gave and received. Because long after you don't do what you do for a living anymore, you're going to discover that relationships are what remains.
yeah,
And so I want to end my comments here with this
mm,
question, and I'd like all of our listeners and watchers to sit with it for a minute, is who are you making time for this week?
yeah, mm,
Who are you making time for this week? Who is it that fills your bucket? And
right,
when's the last time you've had a cup of coffee, a meal, or
yeah,
gone and done something together?
right.
So Jim, I that's all what I've got today.
That's so good, John. I hope everybody hears just it's so practical, but it really is profound. It's simply profound and profoundly simple. Get on the phone, text somebody you'd like to hang out with, put it on your workday calendar, and go spend some time. And you can talk about anything that's on your heart, anything that's on their heart. You can catch up. You can do over a meal, over exercise, or but just and I think you'll find that if you do that once, you'll want to do it again and again and again. And if it's a
Yes.
variety of friends, but I think when the difference between writing a book and reading a book is one is kind of homework and one is heart work. And I
Mhm.
would like make this heart work. I need to expand what my pastor in Phoenix, Pastor Barnett, used to say. I need to expand my circle of love to be large enough to fit one more person in it. And again, what we're talking about is there's something like 2/3 of pastors in 2017 said, my circle of love is me. That
That's it.
that's scary. That's isolation, and that's unnecessary pain and torture. What lies did you believe that made you think that was the right thing to do? And what truth have you heard today that contradicts that lie and says it's time to grab a fishing pole and go have some fun? So God
Mm.
bless you, our watchers and listeners. Don, thanks so much for sharing this. I'm glad that God made us friends, and I know that I can call you. Yeah, if I got a flat
Right
tire,
back
I know
at
I
you.
can call you, but by the time you got there, we live a long ways away from each other, so it wouldn't help. But I know I could call you and commiserate with you about the roads in Michigan. How's that? And enjoy it. So God bless you guys. Go find a friend today. Go be a friend today. A man who wants to have
Yeah.
friends should show himself to be friendly. And as you do, I just believe there's so many great things out there for you as you continue to lead from alignment.